Video archive of July 17th, 2009. We've had another bombing, and 8 souls were killed today. 8 people. 8 living people were killed today. And Barack Hussein Obama killed 4 American soldiers himself by leaving them in harm's way. I don't get it. He promised to bring our men home and stop having them slaughtered, and he has actually increased the number of targets by increasing the Marines that are in country in Afghanistan. Anyway, here's my rant for today. And it was an email that I received by Medal of Honor recipient Colonel Bud Day, who was a pilot during Vietnam. And prelude to the response below from Colonel Bud May, Medal of Honor winner, reads, I didn't expect to be reminded of my treatment some 36 years ago. I got shot down over North Vietnam in 1967. When I returned to the United States in 1973, I published 2 books that dealt a lot with real torture at the Hanoi Hilton. Our make-believe president, Barack Hussein Obama, is branding our country as a bunch of torturers when he has no idea what torture is. Here's real torture. I, Colonel Bud Day, was put through a mock execution because I would not respond. I was pistol whipped during the same event. A couple of days later, I was hung by my feet. I escaped and got recaptured a couple of weeks later, and during the recapture, I got shot. Being shot was okay. What happened afterwards was not. They marched me to Vinh, a city in North Vietnam, put me in the rope trick. The trick almost pulled my arms out of the sockets. They beat me on my head with a little wooden rod until my eyes were swollen shut and I could not see. So therefore I could not escape. And my good, unshot, unbroken hand was beaten to a pulp. Later, they hung me by my arms, broke my right wrist, wiped out the nerves in my arms that controlled my hands, and rolled my fingers into a ball. So I started answering with some incredible lies. They sent me to the famous Hanoi Hilton, strapped to a barrel of gas in the back of a truck. At the Hanoi Hilton, my knees, rope trick again, beaten by a big fool, placed into leg irons, much kneeling with hands above my head. Really, really bad beatings for refusing to condemn my president. Several more kneeling events. Through the years, I could see my bones through the holes in my flesh. There was an escape attempt from the annex. I was the senior officer of a large building, and because of the escape, they started a mass torture of all senior officers. I think it was July of 1969. They started beating me with a car belt, a fan belt off of an automobile. At first, the first 2 days, I took over 300 strokes from this fan belt. Then stopped counting because I thought I would never live through it. They continued day and night torture to get me to confess to a non-existent part in the escape. This went on for 3 days. On my knees, off my knees, fan belt. During one fan belt session, they cut open my scrotum with a stroke of the fan belt. Opened up both my knee holds again where I could see my bones through my flesh. My rear end looked like hamburger. I could not lie on my back. They did torture me. And they tortured me into admitting I was in on the escape, which I wasn't. And they tortured me to the point that I told them that my 2 roommates knew about it, which they didn't. The next day, I denied the lie. The North Vietnamese commenced torturing me again with strokes of the fan belt every day to October 14th. I continued to refuse to lie about my roommates again. Now, the point of this email is that our make-believe president, Barack Hussein Obama, has declared to the world that we, the United States, are a bunch of torturers. Thus, it will be okay to torture us next time they catch us, any of us, civilian or military, because that is what the United States does according to Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Obama is a know-nothing fool who thinks that pouring water on someone's face or hanging a pair of women's underwear over their head is torture. Barack Hussein Obama is an absolute asshole. And he is leaving our nation's young people in harm's way and will, by these statements, authorize them to be tortured unmercifully if they should ever be captured. Barack Hussein Obama and those fools around him who keep bad-mouthing our great country are a disgrace to the United States. And because of Barack Hussein Obama's foolishness, those young people and their families who will sacrifice the most have my blessings. This was received by me today in an email, and I don't know if it's really from Colonel Bud Day. However, I do agree with the declaration that Barack Hussein Obama is an absolute fool. Furthermore, in today's unfoldings, Muslims bombed 2 motels in Indonesia. If you like suicide bombers, thank the Irish Republican Army. They taught this technique to the world and asked for it to be used against any and all British government holdings and any and all civilian and business holdings that were under British control. It is my belief we don't have a dog in this fight. George Bush and now Barack Hussein Obama have let the American people down by allowing this war. And by the way, this is not a war at all. It is a police action. We are not the world's police force. Barack Hussein Obama, be a man and bring our people home. You know my motto, target the day or lose it.